Hi, I'm Mars from StrataGames, and today we are playing Esper Affinity. This is one of my favorite decks to play, and I have a stock list with a guide that I've written that I like quite a bit, but there's always room to improve and to test things out, and so we're trying a very similar list, but I'm trying a couple of different cards that I've been wanting to try out in the deck for a while, or that I have tried in the past and that I want to give another go. So those main cards are Navigator's Compass, Lembas, Reckoner's Bargain, and Eviscerator's Insight. Several of these give us life. That's because one of our weakest matchups is Red Rally, Mono Red Madness a little bit, just anything that kills us pretty quickly. So the life gain's good. Navigator's Compass is a card that I've gone back and forth on, and in my stock list I decided not to include it. That's because when we play up against a mid-range matchup, it's really tough to miss on a card. You know, Navigator's Compass is more or less a dead card unless it helps us fix our mana or something like that, and can be kind of a waste. But I'm trying it again, and we'll see how that goes. It also feels like often we don't have as many artifacts as I really want to pick up. Cryogen Relics obviously are great for the Glinthawks and the Skyfishers, but we're also trying a couple Lembas for that reason. I'm not the biggest fan of Lembas as a card, but I just think we need some more artifacts to pick up. And then we wanted a little bit more card draw, so I have one of Eviscerator's Insight, 2 Reckoner's Bargain. Of course, Bargain can sacrifice a Mere Enforcer to gain 7 life, or a Refurb to gain 4 life. And the cards that we're cutting for these is Blood Fountains, which Blood Fountain's a phenomenal card, but I think that this deck already has a lot of inevitability, a lot of great ways to draw more cards. So if your creatures die, you can usually just draw into more of them. And so I'm not sure those are entirely necessary. I've got the Raven's Crime, which I love in certain matches, and certainly there are matchups where I play against that I don't have the Raven's Crime where I really regret it, but it's one of the flex slots, so I'm trying out some other stuff. We're also only playing 3 cast downs to make room for some more of that card draw. And otherwise it's pretty much standard. A couple Thraben Charms, a couple Metallic Rebukes I think is very important if you don't want to get dusted in games 2 and 3. Suffocating Fumes to get rid of rally tokens and things like that, and elves and whatnot. And then our sideboard, pretty much the same as it's been. Some Dust to Dust, Blue Blast, Fairy Macabre, Shrivel, Duress, and Compass. I think my stock list has 3 Compass in it, so I've modified that a little bit, just the 1, and we've added some more Red Blasts and maybe more Duresses, or no, another Dust to Dust and another Blue Blast, that's it. So let's take this for a league and see how we do. What's up, Ben? How's it going? We are playing some Esper Affinity. We are trying out a list without Raven's Crime, I'm very sorry to say, but that's okay. The deck on the whole is still going to be good. This hand is decent, much better if Grim Bauble is strong and powerful. You'll leave then? Yeah, fair enough. I appreciate you showing up, but that makes perfect sense. Alright, red something, so Bauble will probably have some utility, but if no 1-drop, it's probably not Rally, so it's probably Madness, in which case the Bauble is not going to have... It's good, it could catch a Gutter Snipe or something, which would be cool. Bajuka Bog and Thraben Charm could have some utility, of course. The deck from that link might not be completely accurate, but the stream overlay, Stream Decker should be accurate. Sometimes it's hard to remember to do all of the stuff, but that one should be good. Alright, so I could just Bajuka Bog the Faithless Looting, but we're already holding up Thraben Charm. If they Faithless Looting this turn, I guess that's fine. I think I just keep playing our artifact lands, so we're getting our affinity count higher. And we're holding up Thraben Charm if they do go for like a snacker or something. There's a Flame Breather and the Robbery. I mean, we don't have a way to kill the Flame Breather yet, so that's fine. If I Retemper, I haven't personally loved Reckoner's Bargain on the list. It feels like the card draw from the Thoughtcast and the rocks seem good enough to me. Yeah, I don't know. I never want to turn down more card draw, first of all. And obviously Reckoner's Bargain is being played mostly for the life gain. Like it's a draw spell, but also the reason we're choosing that over something else is, over like Eviscerator's Insight or whatever, is because the life gain can be good, especially in like this matchup. Obviously, this is the matchup where we have the Eviscerator's Insight, not the Reckoner's Bargain, but what are you going to do? I think we have to double Grim Bauble this Flame Breather. So I can Bauble it, Glinthawk Bauble, and then Bajuka Bog, I guess. Yeah, that's fine. I have tried out the Bargain a little bit, and I've not necessarily loved it, but I have felt like I need something different a little bit. So yeah, it's not necessarily my favorite either. That's why we're testing it out. But I just think that I've been wanting a little bit of a change in the deck list. So I'm trying to find what that is. And one of the things that I've been wanting is a better ability to survive against the aggro decks. 3 mana here's got to be a Gutter Snipe, unless they're like hard casting a Fiery Temper. Okay, well I can Grim Bauble that with the Skyfisher, which is nice. Okay, Lembas is good too, so I can Skyfisher, Bauble, could hold up a Thraben Charm, probably just the Lembas though, which means we're 1 artifact short of playing this Enforcer this turn. That's probably fine. Hey, quick question. What stream overlay and MTGO automation do you use to automatically track wins and matchups? I noticed a lot of streamers using it and wanted to learn more. Yeah, there's there's just a site / app kind of a thing called it's mtgbot.tv. There's an overlay that automatically shows your wins. And yeah, so I'd look into that. As far as stream overlay, I mean, I literally just I use Stream Elements to get the chat in there. And otherwise, all this, like, the border and stuff is just, like, properties that I've made. Assets that I've created. Nothing fancy at all. Let's see. So I could play Lembas, but I'm not holding up the life gain here. I guess it's probably safest to hold up Thraben Charm, actually, in case... I can hold up Thraben Charm / Eviscerator's Insight. So if they have, like, a Snacker they're trying to get back, I have the Thraben Charm. If they play another Gutter Snipe here and then go for a Sorcery, I can kill it. Yeah, that might be best. Yeah, no problem. I'm always happy to help. See, there's a Faithless Looting. I have no way to gain life at the moment, so I might as well just try to kill this before there's, like, a Fiery Temper Madness or any other spells cast. Obviously, there could be a Bolt or a Fire Blast or all of the above in response, but I can't do much about that. If there is a Fire Blast, then we will die. And there always is. What are you going to do? Last turn I had to play the Skyfisher Grim Bauble to kill the Gutter Snipe. Then I didn't have the mana to gain life off the Lembas. That's how it goes. I mean, I think we're usually pretty good. We have a lot of sideboard cards against them, but obviously that's pretty annoying. First time catching a stream. I've been loving your content on YouTube. I appreciate that. Glad you're here and able to make it. I hate that the bot has no symbol for both 0/0 and 1/1. Yeah, I understand, because you're saying it's up or down if you've lost a game. Yeah, I agree. I wish that was better too. But, I mean, when I started making videos, I was doing it all by hand, and that obviously takes a lot more time. So I appreciate there being an automated way to use it, even if it's not perfect. Well, we've added in a lot of life gains, so it's harder to make cuts in this version. Metallic Rebuke, like, obviously is just worse than a Blue Blast, but any counter spells are just really good. I usually cut some Enforcers and some Thoughtcasts. I kind of think that cutting some Mirror Enforcers, like all the Mirror Enforcers, is probably fine, because we're just trying to, like, survive, and then we can win from there. Missed your intro was the goal to survive the early game better. Yes. Specifically, I'm just trying out new, like, not new cards that I've tried before, but that I wanted to give another shot. But yes, a lot of them are life gained that I'm trying to survive against the burn decks for. Cut the Rat. Yeah, it's fair. I mean, it can give them madness value, although usually you can get around that. It can give them snacker value. Sure, we can try that. If so, I'm bringing the Enforcers back in, because obviously we need to have some way to win the game, but that's probably fine. I guess maybe we will cut the Rebukes. I don't want to cut all the, like, Thoughtcast is good in this matchup, obviously, because you can get to your sideboard cards quicker, but, like, it's kind of hard to fit all of it in. I mean, this hand's not incredible even if we hit our black mana. Like, Grim Bauble's not the best thing ever, unless they just play Gutter Snipes that we can kill right away. If we get a Cryogen Relic, it's really good, but we have so many sideboard cards and, like, life gain that I think we should look a little deeper for that. This one doesn't have any of those cards that I just mentioned, but at least it has a Cryogen, so we'll keep this one. Get rid of the Enforcer, because it's not looking to be played anytime soon. That's a good draw, just so I can get the Cryogen rolling a little sooner. Cast downs will be good once we get black mana. Until then, obviously, they're a waste. Plot a Highway Robbery. A Fairy Macabre's not a bad draw, just because it lets us, in case they get a snacker, we can exile it. Well, all of our cast downs. There's a Flame Breather, which we'll cast down once we have black mana. Discarding a Lava Dart. Okay. Mirror Enforcer. We have basically nothing to play but this Cryogen, so not much choice there. Okay, Compass is good. It gives us card draw, gives us black mana, although I think just playing it here doesn't make a lot of sense, because I could get a Glint Hawk down, which gets more damage going, and potentially if we draw a land, we can play that too. So we'll do this, and then if I need to, next turn I can still Compass cast down. Nice. Yeah, hitting a land's good there. They're gonna Lava Dart us. I think I might just Fairy Macabre both Lava Darts, because then that forces them to use their mountains now, or lose the lava darts, which are currently representing 4 life. That's a lot, so I think it's pretty good. Not to mention more if they play like a gutter snipe or whatever. They let them go, but I think that's pretty decent. At this point, I'm not too scared about a snacker either, so I think that's one of the best uses we can have for it. Grab the prize. Fiery Temper is annoying. They can obviously just deal us 7, or they could throw it at the Glint Hawk, which would deal us 2 less damage, but they'd be able to attack in, but they just go for the face. They attack. I assume they have a lava dart here, but I'm not gonna take a damage for free. Or they're just bluffing. That makes sense too. 4, 5, 6. We're gonna cast this down though. Well, we're not dead already, so we might as well cast down. See if they have any responses. If not, I think, yeah, we're close enough to death that I want to get the compass down. But this also lets us play the Enforcer, so it's not a total waste either way as far as like mana goes. Maybe if they don't have another pinger, we'll be okay. But there's a gutter snipe. I mean, we could just die right here. We haven't seen any of our blue blasts, which are usually pretty helpful. None of our duresses, which are also pretty good. Grab the prize, discarding a mountain. Okay, not the worst thing ever. They're tapped out. If they have a fire blast, I mean, 2 fire blasts would kill us. Obviously, they don't have that. We're gonna cast this down regardless, but we might as well cryogen first in case I get like a blue blast and they do go for a fire blast. We'll cast down. All right, that worked. And we have them on a 2-turn clock, so we're just going to leave up our mana, because if they happen to have another gutter snipe and like a draw 2, then I'll cast down in response so that they can't draw into like 2 fire blasts to kill us, ideally. There's the gutter snipe and a faithless looting. This is all I got, is responding with the cast down, so hopefully we're not dead in response. There's a bolt, and there's the fire blast. I feel like they always have exactly what they need, so we're dead. Yo, Marsh, love seeing Esper. Was planning on going to a big tournament with Jund, but at least in the last weeks, it seems the deck has been taking a dive, according to online stats and reports. Maybe people don't play it online as much. Any thoughts? I feel like people still play it online plenty. I haven't specifically looked at the stats recently, but I know Rakdos Madness has been on the rise a lot. Like, there were like, it won a couple challenges over the weekend, I think. There were like 8 of them in the top 16 in some of the challenges, so and I don't think that's a great matchup for Jund. I play a lot of Jund, but I'm by no means like an expert on knowing every single matchup, so if people disagree with me there, that's totally reasonable. But I think that could be part of it. It's also, there's always just like ebbs and flows of decks doing well. So I think if you're to take Jund to a tournament, you're still going to have a fine chance to do well. But also looking back at the last 2 Paupergeddons, which obviously one of them was 4 months ago, but Paupergeddons have had a lot of Jund players and then have not had very good conversion for Jund. Like, there was no Jund in the top 8 of either of them, I think. Like, Jund was the most represented deck at the one in the summer, and then Coggates won, which is weird. My point just being that, like, it's clearly a deck that's very, very good, but also if people are very prepared for it, it's a lot harder to make it work. We are against Rakdos Madness, speak of the devil. For that reason, I think I'm just going to play a Compass and Glint Hawk, because I don't mind. I wouldn't want to Glint Hawk the Compass here if I didn't know that the life gain was going to matter, but since it does, not to mention potentially having a blocker for a Kitchen Imp, I think it's definitely worthwhile to do this. I made a terror list with main deck Blue Blast and Modern Age for ditching it when it's bad. I have not acted on it, but I've specifically had the thought of trying to play a deck with main deck Blue Blasts or main deck Red Blast, because there's also a lot of blue decks around. And then having like looting effects and things like that to get rid of them. So yeah, I've had that same idea and just haven't really put it together. But yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so I can play a Skyfisher here, just pick up the Compass. I could play a Thoughtcast, but we could waste that mana if we don't draw a 1-drop, which is pretty likely. I could hold him with Thraben Charm. I don't think I love that. I think we're just going to go for this. Keep picking up the Compass and attacking them. Still think Grab the Prize could be banned. Yeah, it's definitely, like, I think my opinion on that has changed a little bit over the last couple months. I certainly didn't think it was a problem a while ago, but with Mono Red Madness just being extremely prevalent and powerful, and then now Rakdos Madness also being like, because it had been out of favor for a while, and now it's like seems to be taking over again. Of course, the meta, like I said, ebbs and flows a lot, so like, are these still always going to be the best decks, or going to be the best decks until something happens? Probably not, but like, I definitely could see something happening at some point. That very vague analysis is super helpful, I'm sure. Okay. I was hoping to hit a land there. Limbus is not bad, but yeah, I mean, we're not blocking the Snacker. Not yet. Not with the Glinthawk, so I think we'll just attack. Next turn, probably Limbus, hope to hit a land, and then I can start getting Enforcers out. Vampire's Kiss. I mean, luckily we're still at like 20 life, because we've been gaining a bunch. But of course, we haven't dealt them much either. Alright, Reckoner's Bargain is going to be good. We do have black mana because of the Compass, but currently our Enforcers are way too expensive, so we're looking for a land here. Cast Down's not really relevant. Bajuka Bog, that's interesting. I mean, we got to hit our land drop. It's not giving us any value now, but I can always pick it up later with the Skyfisher if I really want. And do I want to trade 2 for 2, knowing the Snacker comes right back? I think so, just because we have a lot of life gain. Skyfisher could be 3 with the Compass. Lembas can be 3. Reckoner's Bargain can be 7. So we have potentially 13 more points of life gain. So I'm not too scared right now. Although obviously the Kitchenip is a reason to have left back the Glinthawk. So we're taking 4. Enforcers still cost 2 mana here, which is more than I want them to. Yeah, if I play an Enforcer, the second one still costs 1, in which case I can't hold up a 2-drop, so I probably just play 1, hold up Glinthawk, or I just play Skyfisher, pick up Lembas, try to look for that land, and then we have 2 blockers. I think that's fine. We're whiffing a little bit on... we're using the Skyfisher not to gain 3 life. That's notable. So we're kind of losing 3 life by doing it this way. But ideally we can find some lands which will help us get out Enforcers. Rebuke, not what we need at the moment. Alright, well, lands are hard to find. I assume we'll see a Fiery Temper kill a Skyfisher here. Indeed. Hey, nice to see you. Hope you had a great Christmas. Yeah, I did. Pretty low-key with some of my family in the area. And then, actually, end of this week, I'll be going up for about a week visiting my... more of my family, parents and whatnot. So I'll be gone for a little while, but also, so streaming there might be a little bit of a break there, but I have videos planned for all the days that I'll be missing, so there should not be a break for that. They Fiery Temper us for some reason. I assume maybe they just have a Bolts or something, but like otherwise we get to trade with a Kitchenip here. Seems like they wouldn't want to do that. But yeah, hope everyone else had a good Christmas as well. Vampire's Kiss. So we're really low. We definitely got to get Enforcer, Cast Down, or Reckoner's Bargain happening. We're just not hitting these lands. And they still have 5 cards in hand, because that's how they work. So I only have 5 artifacts on the field. So I could play like Cryogen Relic, Mirror Enforcer, and then all the Mirror Enforcers, but then we're only at 1 mana unless we top deck a land, so I can't Reckoner's Bargain. I could just play 1 Mirror Enforcer and then bargain it to gain 7. I think I might need to do that just to survive. Or I could like crack Lembas, Cast Down, but that sets us away from the our affinity count. Relic, see if you draw a land. I think if we don't draw a land, we're just in a terrible spot then, because then we can't gain life except for the Lembas. Pay 2 for Mirror plus Bargain. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I just don't love having to do that. So I was thinking through my options, but I think that is the play. Only way to really survive. Hoping to hit a land, but that still didn't happen. But, I mean, Refurb's decent as a blocker next turn. Metallic Rebuke might be decent. But without drawing a land, being able to advance more there, it just feels like that turn is kind of just stalling, not really doing much. Because we're taking 6 already here, so that already undoes the life gain that we had. Alms of the Vein, 9, so we're down to 5. Is there any Gear Hulk Serpents in this list? No, none of the Gear Seeker. None of those. I just think that free is better than 2 mana, even if that 2 mana comes with a slight boost. Well, we died. We do get some Duress, Blue Blast, Macabre, Grim Bobble's decent, but we can take out like Cast Down, Eviscerators, Fumes. Let's see. These all gain us life. These are good blockers. Mirror Enforcer I feel like is kind of the most useless, but it is the way to gain more than 4 life with the bargain. I guess, I mean, Thraben Charms maybe can go just because we have the Fairy Macabres, which are better graveyard hate, so maybe something like that. I mean, Metallic Rebuke, worse than Blue Blast, loses some value, but also still generally pretty decent. This hand doesn't have a lot of card advantage, but we can stall early Snackers. I think it's fine, I suppose. Start with the bridge and pass. Faithless Looting. Snacker and a Looting, so obviously we'll just hold up Macabre in case they go for like 2 Snackers next turn. I can't hold up Rebuke, no reason to Skyfisher, so we're just gonna Compass, play a Goldmire. And they cast into the fire the Compass, sure. Luckily we have all colors of our mana, but nothing to pick up with the Skyfisher now. I think that's fine. We'll just wait on it, hold up Rebuke, probably just hard cast it. They plot a robbery, that's fine. Well, Thoughtcast is a little awkward here now. I can't Thoughtcast and hold up the Blast and the Rebuke, but I think we need to have something happen. I still have Macabre for the Snacker. I guess I could Glint Hawk Seat and then still hold it with Blue Blast. I think that's fine. And we probably counter the Robbery. Duress. Well, can't counter that. I guess we will not counter the Robbery. We will Fairy Macabre to get rid of the Snacker and one of the Faithless Lootings. I mean, Epicure's a fine target for the Grim Bauble. I kind of want to get it down anyway, just in case I need to use the bargain just to, like, draw. Attacking leaves us open to a Kitchen Imp. I think that's fine. We'll just hold up Rebuke here and bargain. They know about the Rebuke, obviously, but at least they have to play around it or walk into it. All right, so I could bargain here, but I think since we have the ability, I'll just Grim Bauble. Obviously, bargain, we'd prefer to gain a bunch of life with it. They cast in the fire a blue source, sure. I suppose we'll be keeping this seat then. Blue Blast is pretty good, but I already have a Rebuke. I need to find some other stuff. I mean, I think Blue Blast is too good to get rid of, so we'll just keep it. Attack for 2 and just pass. They only have 3 cards, we're at 18 life, so like we're not in a terrible spot. They have a Robbery, which I forgot about that they had plotted, but that's fine. Discards a Mountain. I mean, obviously this is bait, but I think Vampire's Kiss is a fine enough card to hit with the Rebuke, especially since we only have 1 blue mana. We're about to have a Blue Blast that we can hold up. Sure, another Kiss. We have no way of knowing if we have anything else coming for the Skyfisher, and we have some decent interaction here, so I think we just play the Skyfisher, go for the, you know, aggro play, I guess, of attacking 4 turns here, rather than holding it for potential value later. They have a Grab the Prize, which will counter, discarding a Faithless Looting. That's pretty good for us. And ditch their last Faithless Looting with a Blood Token. So they got a bunch of Faithless in the grave. They play a Mountain. I could Reckoner's Bargain a land here. We lose out on the life gain, obviously, but we just draw, which could be pretty good. They have no cards, so I kind of think, I mean, hopefully we'll be fine without gaining any life here. I think we do. Double Cryogen. First one's not bad, second one's a bit of a waste. Like, Refurb would be good, Glint Hawk would be good. Land is fine, I suppose. Alright, Thoughtcast, bit awkward because we don't have the double blue here, but not bad for next turn. Flashback, Faithless Looting. Discards Epicure and Swamp. Was that plotting a Robbery? Yep. Alright, let's Thoughtcast. The rest doesn't do anything, but we'll Refurb, which draws us a card. We'll play Relic, which draws us a card, and, well, can't hold that up yet, but I can Compass. And next turn I can Duress and Blue Blast, which isn't bad. Robbery, sack a Mountain. Alms of the Vein. That one Alms doesn't throw off our 2-turn count here, but if they get more life, it could, which could be annoying. So ideally we can find a creature here to help with that. Let's just Duress them, see what they got. Cast in the Fire, Alms of the Vein. Obviously we're not taking Alms, so we're taking Cast. Alright, we'll attack for 6. Yeah, they have another Alms of the Vein, so that is going to throw off the count. I could crack a Relic here to try to hit like an Enforcer or another creature to play. Then we don't tap down this Epicure, but I don't think that's really relevant anyway. So we will, because if we get a creature, it could lessen the turns. Yeah, that they have. Glint Hawk's good. We're obviously going to hold up this Blue Blast. So I guess we're just going to Glint Hawk back the Relic. And I could play the Refurb. Obviously, they did get to Madness this, but it still takes a card. But I think I'd rather hold up the Blue Blast. I guess if they draw into a Vampire's Kiss to gain 2 more life, having the Refurb down would be beneficial, but I think it's better to just have this to counter like a Faithless Looting or something. Robbery just seems like a nuts card. Pay 2 mana now to pay 0 mana later, and sack a tapped mountain so you can get more value out of that land. Yeah, I think it's definitely a lot stronger than I initially thought. A lot of the times we've been getting these Tormenting Voice kind of cards. 2 mana, discard a card, draw 2, and then they get 1 little benefit to make them better. Grab the prize, 2 damage, you know, things like that. But Robbery having 2 additional bonuses, the plotting and the fact that you can sack a mountain, does push it over the edge. Then again, we've already had cards that have 2 bonuses, a lot of them, those being, some of them are instant speed, and then also like Demand Answers can sacrifice an artifact, or Sazakep's Brew can gift a fish or whatever. But yeah, the plotting and sacking a mountain are both very strong options. Alright, hand looks okay. A lot of card draw, a little bit of life gain. Generally, I'd want to play a tap land here, just to get the tap land out of the way, but we've seen Cast in the Fire, and if I play a tap land and then I waste that mana and then they cast into the fire, it's kind of a waste. Whereas if they want to cast this into the fire, then I at least got the mana from the Compass. So I'm going to just start like this. Looks like a Kitchen Imp, though. Okay. It's not as good as Deadly Dispute, but I think it's closer to it than Grab the Prize. Yeah, I mean, they're both pretty good. I don't think I'd compare either of them to Deadly Dispute, just because Deadly Dispute essentially is worth 1 mana, as a lot of people have pointed out. So I think that difference is pretty big. I think we just refurb Thoughtcast here. If they get rid of the Compass when I don't have white mana, then not playing our tap land could be a bit of a pain. But again, if they cast in the fire, I'd like to actually be using my mana in the early turns, and Thoughtcast can draw us into some other good stuff. Obviously, we're playing refurb because it can trade with the Kitchen Imp. Alright, Ancient Den, Glint Hawk. I kind of expect the refurb to die before I can block the Kitchen Imp, but then at least we have a Glint Hawk to pick up. Maybe the Compass, maybe the Relic, depending on if we want the life gain or the card advantage. Yep, they cast in the fire the refurb. Swing for 3. Only 3 cards left in hand. We're at 16 life. Okay, that's interesting, because I can cast refurb. If they have like a fiery temper, they can madness it, in which case they'll kill the refurb. But if they don't, then I can take 2 cards from their hand. I think we're going to cast it either way. If they just kill the refurb, it still gets a card out of their hand, right? It's still a 1-for-1. That's fine. And if they go at face, then actually I get to Glint Hawk back the refurb, take another card from them. And so life gain is very good in this match, obviously. But the real resource you need to worry about is their cards in hand. Because with all their robberies and grab the prices and stuff, they just continuously deal you damage while not going down in cards at all. So any way to attack their hand is usually beneficial, which is why we bring in duress and things like that. Swing with both of these. I mean, I'll block here and I'll gladly just eat the epic here. Now they have 1 card. We're stable at 11. Relatively stable. Now they do have blood tokens, so they can go through it pretty quick. I could duress here. Obviously, if it's a fiery temper, that's a bit of a goof, but it's still a 1-for-1. What do I think their last card is? I think they probably kept the Vampire's Kiss over the robbery, so I think this could be anything off the top. I mean, there's probably no reason to not play the Relic first, unless I think this is like a red blast, which I don't. I think this is our best opportunity to duress. Okay, that's a great hit. Very nice. Relic and Thoughtcast. Sure, let's just cast that. Skyfisher's good. All right, I'm going to attack. This does put us at a little bit of risk if they just top deck a Kitchen Imp, that they can get that an attack in for 2. So maybe I should just hold back, but they discard a Swamp and have nothing else. Okay, that's a good sign. Duress. I could... Let's see. If they drew anything with Madness, they would save it to use at instant speed, except for a Kitchen Imp, so it can't be a Kitchen Imp. If it was an Epicure, I think they would have played that. I think if it's a land, they would have gone through it too. I think we'll Duress, see what they got. Alms of the Vein, sure. So... Look, making them discard a Madness card is not great, because we're kind of giving them that for free, but they already had the ability to use it, and obviously we made it so they didn't have to use this blood token, but we did still put them down a card. So, yeah. Now here, the question is, do I want to pick up the Compass or the Relic with the Skyfisher? I'd like to do the Relic, but we are at 8 life. They only have 1 blood token. They have no Faithless Lootings in the graveyard. So for that reason, if they top attack a Fiery Temper into a Bolt, they can deal a maximum of 6 here, which means we're not dead. Doesn't mean that this is the smartest play, but I think we go for the Relic here. Alright, well, getting another Skyfisher just gives us the ability to use that on the Compass next turn. And now, with 3 of these creatures, I actually think we have enough damage on them to not take too long finishing them off. So now I think I can go for the Skyfisher on the Compass. Lembas too. Like, I think we have what we need to win now. But just 2 of these, I felt like it was going to be a little slow. 3 of these creatures, we have what we need to win. Now we just need to survive. And they have Grab the Prize, discarding a Mountain. That's great. Not even getting any damage. Epicure and a Mountain is totally fine. Blue Blast is a great draw. We'll just play a Lembas and might as well crack it right away. Sure, I'll take a Grim Bauble. That means I don't have to fear leaving a creature back for this Epicure. I don't have to take the damage, and I still can hold up the Blue Blasts. Not to mention it can just Surveil. So I think we're feeling pretty good now. Blood token away a Snacker. Alright, they're going to get that. Fiery Temper. I think if it goes face, I just take it. But if it goes for a Skyfisher, I probably kill it. Or counter it. Which I think is smart that they went for the creature. But yeah, I think we'll keep that alive. So we have a 2-turn clock here. I guess not quite 2 turns because of their Snacker. But we'll crack this Grim Bauble on the upkeep to Surveil, get rid of a Vault. I'll keep a Refurb. Oh, actually, we get to Cryogen their Snacker, so it doesn't actually untap. That's nice. I should have attacked first, because if their last card is another Fiery Temper... Oh, nice. Alms of the Vein they can't cast is good. If it was another Fiery Temper, I'd be wasting damage here, which actually could have changed the clock, so pretty nice that they did not have that. Keep the Snacker tapped, and a Duress. Always a nice feeling when you turn the corner on the burn decks. I agree. It does let me breathe a sigh of relief. Alright, so we got there against Rakdos, even if we got stomped by Mono Red. That does feel good. There's a bit of Pauper on this Black-Red Madness format. Yeah, they definitely gotta scrub the rest of the Pauper away from it. I exclusively want Black-Red Madness mirrors. You can now pick up my comprehensive guide to Esper Cryo Affinity, including 38 sideboard matchups, and I just put out a big update for my Black Sack guide, including a slightly different deck list. I began offering coaching sessions if you're interested in taking your Pauper game to the next level, and I'm accepting deck donations, so if you desperately want me to play a deck that I usually wouldn't play, something like Elves, then you can make me do that for a small fee. I've started posting a League video every single day, not to mention streaming at least a couple times a week on Twitch, but I'm not going to be able to keep that up forever unless I can get a little bit more help from the community. Any of the ways I've just mentioned are great ways to help me out, or you can even subscribe and support me on a monthly basis. This hand's really awkward because we have nothing to pick up with these guys. These are not very relevant if we don't have creatures on the board. But if we hit just like a blue source, Thoughtcast is really good. A Lembas, it gets good. But a Cryogen Relic, we don't actually have blue mana for. I think we're going to mulligan. It was close. This one needs white mana, but the double refurb Thoughtcast is pretty nice. We'll just play with what we have, get rid of the Thraben Charm, since we can't cast it right now. Looks like we're against Elves, which could be tough, since we have no removal, and we got rid of the Thraben Charm, which I still think was the right call. Battlement. No one drop to play. Oh, I guess it's walls? Spy walls, maybe? Okay, I could play a refurb for 2 here. Not only is that not mana efficient for the refurbs, but also, theoretically, depending on what deck they're playing, that could give them the ability to Masked Vandal us. So I think we just go for the Lembas. Try to find a land, preferably a white source. We will keep that. So next turn I can refurb Hold Up Rebuke, or just refurb Thoughtcast. Rebuke's probably not going to be very good with the battlement, but I guess currently they're 2 creatures just tap for 1 mana each. Yeah. Shield Wall Sentinel. Walls it is. Axebane, but they can't play that this turn. Winding Way hits 3 creatures. Currently have 6 mana, so they play Axebane Guardian. I can't counter it. Then they play another Axebane, and I could. Doesn't seem great. It would be nice to have white mana, but also it feels like with our card draw being all blue, maybe I should just play that. I guess Metallic Rebuke is only going to be relevant this next turn, I think. After that, if they have 2 Axebanes, it's not going to matter at all. So I guess I should probably try to get some value out of it. How are you liking the Lembas over Tithing Blade and the other changes you seem to be testing so far? Yeah. I don't know yet. It seems fine. Tithing Blade is really decent, obviously, against Terror, but I think we already have a decent matchup against Terror, and it's not great against a lot of other things. I think the more generically good Lembas is decent because it gives us something to play and buy back with our creatures. It gives us a way to play our bouncers a little bit earlier, because that's often one of the problems, is not having a way to play them, not having a reason to play them early enough. So, I mean, we're like, this is match 3, but nothing conclusive yet about how I feel. I would love a cast down. Fumes, not great. I think we hold up Rebuke again because might as well, even though they have 3, 6, 10 mana. Discard Leaf Color. They discarded the drawbridge before, and we countered that. Okay, we don't know what's in their hand. Yeah, I mean, we could certainly just die here, but Rebuke might be able to catch something. This is actual walls? Yes, indeed. Some people still play it. No land drop from us. We played the Razortide Bridge. Can Metallic Rebuke, they still have enough mana to untap. That's not great. And then, yeah, so that's infinite mana. I mean, so it doesn't matter. As long as they have an outlet, we are dead. Stream of Thought kill? I doubt that, but it could be. Lead the Stampede. Quarian Ranger, Shield Wall Sentinel is going to be able to tutor up their Drift of Phantasms, which can find whatever. The reason they wouldn't play Stream of Thought is because it's not a 3-drop that they can tutor up with their Transmuter. Not a great matchup for us. Shrivel doesn't do anything. Duress can hit their draw spells, not great. Fumes is probably better than those. Dust to Dust does not matter. Yeah, I think we just resubmit. If we get the right hand with some cast downs and refurbs to attack their resources, maybe we'll be okay, but not our best matchup for sure. Combo is definitely difficult for us to deal with. Oops. Alright, on the play. Yeah, I mean, we have a cast down. We have a bunch of card draw. I think that's good enough. There's the Ranger. Skyfisher's good when we can get some white mana. Fumes can kill a Ranger and a Leaf Caller. No Overgrown Battlement. Okay. I think we're just leaving up our draw spells. Probably killing an Axebane Guardian that they cast here. Lead the Stampede. Well, I kind of wish I had a counterspell for that. Another Leaf Caller. Another Quarian Ranger. We're going to try to get a bunch of value out of this Fumes. That's for sure. Yeah, we're just going to draw off the Relic. I know that means we can't pick it up with the Skyfisher, but gotta draw here. Mirror Enforcer, Compass. This is 5 artifacts. I think we go for the Thought Cast. Another cast down. I guess I play a 2-mana Enforcer. Yeah, I mean, it's more damage than a Skyfisher, plus we don't have to discard. It can get blocked, but also we're going to try to wipe away a lot of their 1/1s at some point. Like, if they don't have a land and they just play a Axebane Guardian, probably just cast that down, although I guess they can untap with the Quirion Ranger, so they'll probably also play another Quirion or like an Orochi. We'll want to fumes those away. I don't know. Oh. Well, I was not expecting the Dust to Dust. That makes sense why there's so many Orochi Leaf Callers running around. It's not the worst thing ever, especially because we got the Enforcer down. And we have a Compass for blue, but that is interesting and unexpected. Do I need to fear another Dust to Dust so badly that I should Suffocating Fumes now? I don't think so. Maybe. I mean, they didn't play one of their 1/1s when they could have right there, so there's the Axebane Guardian. Swing for 2. Yeah, they're leaving up a green mana for something. I assume it's protection here. Yeah, that makes sense. Attack for 4. Cast it down again. I could play a 1-mana Enforcer. Yeah, I think we just keep beating down and with the Enforcers here. If I play more 1/1s, then I can Suffocating Fumes. I assume there'll be like another Guardian. Yeah, but Caretaker, okay. So they're not leaving up protection, so they don't have it, obviously. Thraben Charm can kill the Axebane Guardian. Attack for 8. Alright, we're gonna do this on white. I'm gonna pick up the Compass. Thraben Charm, the Guardian. This way, playing the Skyfisher. Skyfisher gets in for 2, which means both the Enforcers are lethal, so they're gonna have to double chump, but ideally with the Fumes, I can kill enough blockers where they just lose. Like if all they have to play is some 1/1s or whatever. But I would also take wiping all their 1/1s and then a double chump. That wouldn't be terrible either. But there's a creature that dies. There's a creature that dies to Fumes. I guess obviously not hoping that there's not another Dust to Dust for 2 Mirror Enforcers. That would be unfortunate. Looks like they are going to Drift to Phantasms. I don't know, something for blue. Oh, just cast one, sure. Okay, that's fine though. So I can kill 4 of these, then they have to double chump. I think that's going to be game winning, even if it doesn't technically kill them here. Oh, I guess they don't have to double chump. They can block here and block here because they can just go to 2. But then all they have is an 0/5, so it should probably be okay. And we have 3 lethal attackers. All right, they definitely had a weird draw, but it allowed us to get there. I don't know if with the Suffocating Fumes they're going to take those out, but they actually had like Llanowar Elves, Quirion, Orochi Leafcaller. I guess just those, but between those, it feels like they have like 10 to 12 1/1s. So like, is Shrivel decent? They have Dust to Dust, which makes it feel like Rebuke is good in those weird turns, and also Compass might be good, just in case they end up exiling some lands. I don't really know what we take out for Compass though. Everything else has some utility. I guess Duress could be decent if they have Duress. Or not Duress. They have Dust to Dust as well as their draw spells. That's like 12 hits maybe. It's not very good. I guess we just resubmit. They mulligan to 6. We have just like an okay, reasonable hand. Nothing special, no removal. But I don't know. We'll hope the Lembas can get us there. / their mulligans can get us there. They mulligan to 5. They got the Caretaker. We'll just play a Compass. I can't hold up Rebuke on turn 2 here because unless I top deck a Seat of the Synod, because I can't hold up blue from the Compass as well as tap it. Okay, all Caretakers. That's kind of fine. Oh, they're going to play their last card too. Quirion Ranger. Okay, well, they're out of gas. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana, so Rebuke should be able to catch just about anything. We're just going for a Lembas, looking for... Again, I can't Rebuke this turn or else I might hold it up. Cryogen's decent. It means we can't... If I play a Cryogen, I can't also hold up the Rebuke. We're going to need to whiff a couple turns anyway. I think we get rid of it, though. Well, I don't want more lands, obviously, but I would like to find creatures for pressure or removal. Holding up Rebuke next turn looks like it might be awkward, too, because I might not be able to play the Glinthawk, but it feels kind of important, too, if I can, unless they get lucky and top deck will lead the Stampede here. I feel like I want to hold it up for when they do. Although they've top deck Forest, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If they do it right, they'll have the Rebuke up, or they'll have mana for the Rebuke. All right, Refurb's just a redraw. That's actually pretty good. Lembas Scries, but it's 2 mana. Refurb's just 1 mana. Yeah, I think Rebuke's not looking like it's going to be effective here. And this way we get to build up our pressure while drawing. So I think we just go for this. Oh, I guess they could... I'd be fine if they want to discard a Forest to this guy. I mean, it's not the best. I'd prefer to draw a card, but like there's a Skyfisher. Yeah, I mean, we're pretty much just scared of Winding Way or Lead the Stampede because we have decent pressure now. If they just top deck like an Axebane Guardians, it's decent, but it's not the best thing ever unless they just top deck that into infinite mana into an outlet. But without all that, I think we're fine. They don't play what they draw, which is interesting. Probably because at this point it's just a land, and they figure they might as well discard it to a refurb, if there is one of those. Skyfisher. Okay, so I could pick up a Lembas. I could go for the two-turn clock, pick up Lembas, then play another Skyfisher, pick up a Compass. That's probably our best bet. Just 2 turns. Again, Rebuke just doesn't do much. I mean, it won't at this point really counter a Winding Way or Lead the Stampede, but it could counter the first card after that. So maybe there's some merit to leaving it up there, but I kind of think the 2-turn clock is best here. They play a Forest. Obviously, we need them to whiff a little bit, but it's pretty nice that it seems that's exactly what they're doing. Lembas. Now we're just looking for removal. I don't even care about other stuff. There's an Enforcer. Swing for 8. And now there's no reason to play anything other than just Compass, hold up the Rebuke in case it is relevant, and pass, because we have lethal either way. All right, well, they got a little unlucky, but to be honest, this matchup's pretty unlucky for us, so I think that that's kind of the best / only way we can really win. So we do end up getting there, which is nice. All right, round 3 here. 1 lander, not going to cut it, even though there's a lot of value there. 1 lander's not going to cut it. This is just about the worst 2 lander I can imagine, though. They also mulligan to 5. We put back, like, Enforcer cast down. This hand sucks. I can think of a lot better 4-card hands, and this is not one of them, but it could have been. Like, if we just had 2 lands, Cryogen, Skyfisher, that would have been a better hand. This is, I mean, I can think of better 3-card hands, so we're going to go down. This is a better 3-card hand. I think we're just keeping Cryogen Relic. It's our highest upside. Obviously, keeping a Lembas could help find what we need more, but we really need to have the best that we can here. Looks like we're again, and that's not a bad draw, just because we need lands, and white mana is good. Now if we get like a Glint Hawk, okay, Compass, that's really bad. That's a whiff. I'm going to guess Poison Storm, but it could be, yeah, okay, blue means Poison Storm. It could have been Ruby Storm, but there's the Prism. This is already not a very good matchup for us, but certainly on a mull to 3, it's going to be a tough one. That's pretty funny because we could actually play that. So that legitimately, like, it's not the best thing ever, but we have a 5-turn clock now. Obviously, they could have a Weather the Storm or whatever, but like we actually have some decent pressure. And they also mulligan to low, and they just use a Thirsting Roots just to make a mana on this woodlot. So, I mean, we could have a shot here. Well, Vivisurgence Insight's going to make it hard, though. Come on, Glint Hawk, bounce the Relic, replay the Relic, we get a land, and refurb. That'd be, like, amazing. We didn't get that, though. I don't think I have time to wait around, so I'm going to just crack this. Because if we get, like, a refurb or a Glint Hawk, then we can apply more pressure quicker. And if we don't, then it doesn't really matter. Alright, Inquiry, we are poisoned now. Augury, and Thirsting Roots, Weather the Storm. Weather's not great for us, but Relic's good. Thoughtcast is good. Into these damn compasses. I mean, Compass from the previous version would have literally been Raven's Crime, which could be very good here, or a Blood Fountain, which would be irrelevant, but a little better because it could draw us a new card. But I don't think we're going to win this one, but hey, we actually didn't, like, there is a little bit of possibility, or at least was, on a mull to 3, which is pretty impressive. Thoughtcast, cast down, amazing. That's another blank card. Into more cast downs. It could have been time for it could have been time for Raven's Crime. It is time for bounce. We just need to actually get any of our hawks or bouncers at all. Okay, attack for 4. I mean, they haven't done much, so actually maybe they have all lands in hand. Pick up a Relic, Skyfisher, play the Relic. Vault of Whispers. Skyfisher, pick up the Relic. Another Skyfisher. Okay. They have They have 2 Weather the Storms here. Yeah. That's a lot. It's not the worst thing ever, honestly. Like, it doesn't kill us, and we do have enough damage to, like, put up a reasonable clock here, but obviously if they keep getting draw spells now, we're gonna probably not be able to win, but maybe if they just, like, whiff, we'll be okay. Stormy as Ohio. Very true. Vivisurgence Insight. Yeah, that makes things worse. Well, there was a little bit of hope for a second, but then they got there, it looks like. Alright. We're a couple poison away, but I can't imagine that we can actually win at this point before they get like 2 more poison on us, so we're just going to call it. Duress is good. Fairy Macabre, they might bring in Moment's Pieces, because they often do, and we're also going to be taking out a bunch of removal. Dust to Dust, it's pretty important that we get rid of their artifacts, even if I have to dust one of my own like lands or whatever. But we get rid of all of that. Thraben Charm, it only matters for hitting their graveyard, so it's just worse than Macabre, probably. I kind of think even a Compass, like maybe fixing our early mana is even better. So we'll try that. It's not the best matchup, but if we get some decent duresses and or just like refurb I can buy over and over, it can be okay. If we don't mulligan to 3, I think we'll have a shot. Alright, well this is a mulligan to 6, and it doesn't look very good. If we can get our blue mana for Thoughtcast, it could be okay. They bring in Pyros. Yeah, that's probably fine. Which would make Hydras good? No, I don't think them bringing in like 4 Pyroblasts would make our Hydroblasts good. That seems like it's going to be a dead card 90% of the time. This hand is not very good, but if we get a Lembas, it's good. If we get a blue source, it's good. If we get any artifact, we can get an Enforcer down. I kind of think we just need to be doing more earlier, so I'm gonna... Alright, this one's better. Get rid of this. I think I might get rid of the seat here, because I want the refurb, I want Thoughtcast, and I already want to hit another land for a black source, so like, I don't really want to have a bunch of lands. I don't know. Even with just Relic, I can cast Thoughtcast if I need to for 2 mana the following turn, which can ideally get us to our black source, if we don't just find it right away. So I could play Goldmire Bridge, but then I do nothing this turn. The next turn, I could refurb and Cryogen. Whereas if I Cryogen here, then next turn I can Thoughtcast. It's probably better that I get the refurb down a turn earlier to get a little more damage going, so I think we do this. I mean, they could just have a Deglamor or something here. Cycle a Lorien for an island. There's Prism. Yep. Alright, refurb and then Cryogen. They do discard a Pyroblast. Let's see if they have another one. They don't. Nice. At least not that they want to use on that, but I feel like that would have been a good target. I guess they need the mana to proliferate so that they don't lose this. So maybe they just couldn't afford it. There's an Augury. Contentious Plan. And they pass. Go for the Thoughtcast. That resolves, but we have no more blue mana. And all we draw is more draw spells. That's pretty annoying. I would have loved a Duress. I would have loved another Refurb, a Glinthawk. Alright, they draw 3. I mean, I wouldn't hate a Dust to Dust just to get rid of their Prism. I will exile my own Cryogen Relic if I have to. Thoughtcast. I guess I can hold up Rebuke and Reckoner's Bargain. Rebuke is already pretty far past when it's going to be good, but if they cast like an Infectious Inquiry into like a draw 3, I can maybe catch it. But if they just do a draw 3 here, they're going to have the mana to pay. There's another Prism. Now I really want a Dust to Dust for these. Prologue, I counter it. They just pay here. It doesn't really matter. Thirsting Roots is basically just a ritual because it gives them 2 mana and proliferates us. Augury, Infectious Inquiry. I mean, this at least puts their... This does not proliferate, and so would at least put their Prisms relatively low on mana. So I think I might as well use it, but we'll see how that does. They cast a Manamorphose in response. Sure. Probably just adding to Storm Count. Alright, they do pay for it. We'll get another poison counter. We're gonna bargain away the Relic. If we can get like a Duress and a Dust to Dust, maybe we have a shot. 3 lands. That was what I meant to say. Alright, we do get the Dust to Dust actually. Let's see if we can get that Duress too. No. Alright, well, Dust to Dust is nice, but feels like it's gonna not matter with this many lands in hand. This gives them free reign to use their mana, obviously. They could also have a counterspell, I suppose. Manamorphose. Steady progress. Swing for 2. I feel like someday Poison Storm's going to win a big tournament because the meta will not be ready for it. Nobody will expect it. It's possible. I mean, certainly nobody's like teching specifically against it, but I think, like, I could definitely see that being the case. A lot of people already have like counterspells or sideboard hate, which is kind of what you want against them, or just go fast enough with like a red rally that it's hard for them to compete. But I could definitely see them like dodging the right matchups, strictly going up against like, you know, the control matchups or the Juns, where it's going to be really easy for them to win. And then, maybe smashing a big tournament. I could see that. Another Prism. If we did have a Raven's Crime and we'd drawn it, then I think we'd honestly maybe just win, because making them discard 5 cards, aka their entire hand, would be pretty good. But seeing as we don't have that, I think we're going to lose. Draw a card here. It's another Fairy Macabre. We are already at 6 poison. I cannot imagine 2 Fairy Macabres is going to get us there. So let's just not waste any more time. I know. Look, I'm on your side, Ben. I have Raven's Crime in my stock list for a reason. It's just one of the flex slots, and I gotta try out some other cards. But I will certainly be going back to the counterfeiting Raven. Wow, we don't have to mulligan. We actually have a reasonable hand. Great Furnace, but no Tomb Raider is nice. Grimbauble's good, assuming this is Red Rally, but no black mana for it, and currently no targets. I could feel in my bones that getting a keepable hand that's slow... Oh, well, never mind. Even worse. It's Cycle Storm. That's slow like this is gonna just bite us when they have like a fast start or whatever. Well, if we can get a Thraben Charm, we can maybe be okay, but we have like 2 turns to find one, otherwise we're just gonna die. Lotus Petal. I could play 1 Mere Enforcer, that doesn't really do much. I could play a Cryogen Relic. I could play a Skyfisher, which gives us a little bit of damage. That's not really going to matter. Plus, we'll have to discard. Probably shouldn't have played the land yet because I could get a tap land, but I think my best bet is to hit Cryogen into like maybe a Glint Hawk, but also just Cryogen. That's 5, so I can't play this for 1 mana, unfortunately. Theoretically, if they have a slow start and it takes them a couple extra turns to get there, then Triple Mirror Enforcer could be okay. Like, you know, it could get there in a couple turns. While you're hitting the Nightmare matchups. Yes, that is it's my skill. Mono Red Madness, Rakdos Madness. Not the Nightmares, but like still not very favored. And then Walls, Poison Storm, Cycle Storm. This is exactly where we're at. They have a big Reaping the Graves, but how many creatures do they even have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, they have enough. They have 6. I thought they'd only cycled like 3 times. I mean, they could peter out here, but yeah, we're definitely hitting, I would say, 5 unfavored matchups, ranging from like 60-40 to like 80-20. Hitting the decks that do unfair things when you're trying to play fair Magic. Yeah, this is a story of my life. I almost always try to play fair Magic, and definitely feel like I hit a lot of the unfair ones. So we'll see how this goes. There's another Songs of the Damned. They could still whiff, but it feels like they've probably gotten over the hump. But I guess if they don't have another ritual here, they'll be done. But yeah, there's the songs. So yeah, 1 more Reaping would do it, because they can get their Drannith Stingers back. Oh, they just have a Drannith Stinger. And there's a Reaping. Alright, Dust to Dust can hit their lands. Duress, Fairy Macabre is frankly not even the best thing ever. Like, hitting 2 of their creatures is kind of irrelevant, but if you can get all their Drannith Stingers, maybe that's fine. Fumes doesn't matter. Rebuke can be decent. Cast downs are probably cuts. Obviously, if we get in that position and like killing a Drannith Stinger doesn't really matter, but they can swap over to the version where they just try to play a bunch of big creatures and attack you quickly, and cast downs are good there. But generally, if they do that, we can get down. Well, if we don't draw any enforcers or anything, we'll die. But if we can get some enforcers down, it's fine. We just need to keep a hand that actually has decent mana, I think. So like Compasses can get cut. I mean, Compass makes it easier to dust, but been playing on MTGO because your content for the past couple months. Been playing Pauper for years. I feel like it's very hard to go 5-0 in Pauper leagues. Can't always go 5-0, especially with random strong decks in the meta, plus strong opponents. Curious how often you go 4-1 or 5-0 and your experience of it. Yeah, I mean, I certainly play a lot, but I'm by no means like a grinder who's playing like 12 hours a day. So like I'm never in the running, certainly for like a person with most trophies. So, but as someone who probably plays like on average 1 or 2 leagues a day, most every day, I don't get very many trophies. I would say like every season, which is like 2 months, I get like 4 or 5 trophies at max. To be honest, if I get a trophy, you probably see it on YouTube, or I'll post about it on my social media. So yeah, I don't get that many trophies. As far as 4-1s, I get a fair number of 4-1s. Alright, this hand is not great. I mean, we have Rebukes on turn 3 to start countering some stuff, maybe. We do have a Fairy Macabre. I mean, we have some interaction. We don't have the best, like we were talking about, we don't have a great deck against them anyway. We have some interaction. Need a lot of experience for trophies. Yeah, I think I probably don't, I play a ton, but I don't even probably play enough to have enough, like I still make a lot of silly mistakes, where if I was playing 10 hours a day, I probably wouldn't be making many of those mistakes. Obviously, you're never playing perfectly, at least not over a period of time. But yeah, I would say I get a couple of trophies a month at max, and it's definitely a lot of trial and error. Obviously, even the best players are not getting a trophy every single league, or even 50% of the time. You know, the reason people have so many trophies is because they play a ton, and sometimes even because they if they go 0-2, they're going to drop from a league and spend more time trying to get the better records, things like that. I could Thoughtcast here, but then I was going to say I don't have Rebuke up, but I just played a tap land, which means I don't have Rebuke up anyway. Speaking of those mistakes, so I should have left up the Seat. They're probably not going to go off this turn anyway, plus I do have a Fairy Macabre, so it's probably fine to do this, but I should have played an untapped land, so I could at least have the potential to Rebuke if they go for like a Rowan Scrim Search or whatever. Yeah, I would say I play enough, and I'm good enough at the game, I've been playing for way too long, that on average, I get a 3-2. I certainly still get some 2-3s or 1-4s or whatever, but most of the time I can get a 3-2. A fair number of the time I can still get 4-1s, but I don't get a ton of trophies because it's hard. There's a lot of variance. There's a lot of really good players. Yeah, it's just hard to make it work. We basically have nothing going on, but we can hold up 1 Rebuke, which can maybe catch like a Rowan Scrim Search or a Ritual or something. And we have 1 Fairy Macabre, which can snag like a couple Stingers or something. But yeah, I think if you're playing on MTGO, I mean, it depends on how seriously you're taking it, but like, as long as you're going 3-2 on average, you're fine, right? Because if you go 3-2 every single league you play, you're not losing anything. You're only gaining, what, one chest? But you're getting your entry fee back, which is not the best thing ever. But as long as you're doing at least that, and then occasionally you're getting a 4-1 or a trophy, then like you're already going infinite, so to speak. It's if you get more 2-3s that you are going to start losing, money and play points and stuff. And that in that case, I would say you should practice a lot more to try to get good enough so that you can keep going more infinite. I could play an Enforcer for 2 and still have up a Rebuke, which is all I have up anyway. So unless they do something in response to this Enforcer, this is just as good as not playing it. And there's the Grim Search. I think that's the best thing to counter, because if they have like a Ritual or whatever, like they can definitely Ritual here and then pay for it. So, I mean, I basically just got a 1-for-1 with the Dark Ritual. Not the best thing ever, but yep, Poison Storm into Cycle Storm, indeed. They binned 4 cards. Cycle Street Wraith. Another Grim Search. Obviously can't counter that. Bins a couple cards. Songs of the Damned. So here I could Fairy Macabre to make them get a little bit less mana. Or I could just Fairy Macabre once they go for a Reap in the Graves to like eat 2 of their targets. Another Rowan's Grim Search. I don't really know which is better, but to be honest, I don't think either one is going to like win the game. But Draenith Stinger is a good creature to target because that's their main win con. So if I can snag 2 of those, it'll be decent enough. Their Storm count is at 5 though. Now it's at 1,000,000. So these are all on the stack. Might as well get rid of the 2 Draenith Stingers. And then we get to just sit back because that's all we have. There's another Draenith Stinger. Where is my Galvanic Blast? I just got a Simian Spirit Guide into Galvanic real quick. Another Songs, they got plenty of mana. Duress, sure. So they just got to get another Reaping, get back Draenith Stinger. I mean, that was for 16. We're at 20, so as long as they have 2... I mean, I guess they could just play 1,000,000 of these big guys, and I could probably just die to that. But as long as they have the other Draenith Stinger in hand, they can just cycle for lethal. There's one of them, and there's Healer. I guess they could just cycle into probably find the other one because they have 11 cards left. Alright, well, 2-3 is not great, but as hostile as those 5 decks we played against were for our deck, I think a 2-3 is actually a pretty reasonable win rate there. We took down Rakdos Madness and Walls. We lost to 2 of our worst matchups of Poison Storm, Cycle Storm, and also to Rakdos, or Mono Red Madness, rather, which is a tough one for us as well. So that's going to happen sometimes. I mean, we played 1 league, and again, everything was hostile. I don't have any conclusive evidence. I do think Compass feels good some of the time, which is why I like it sometimes, but then it feels really bad when we just need anything that actually affects the board. So I think I'm still probably keeping those in the sideboard, but yeah, I think like having no Tithing Blade does suck for some matchups, not any of the ones we faced today. Certainly having a more generic card of Lembas that's good for whenever and can let us get our Glinthawks and Skyfishers down earlier, I think is good. So I'm kind of leaning towards keeping those in, certainly testing them more. And then Insight and Bargain. I mean, Bargain was good. Well, it was okay. I don't think it ever kept us alive, specifically. But I don't know. I think there's still more room to test these cards, so nothing conclusive yet. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.